to K-Stop, Fuse's K-pop podcast. Hello, everybody. This is Jeff Benjamin, and as always, I'm joined by the Jin Young to my JB.
No,
Tina Zhu. Oh, sorry.
I'm JB.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. Let me start over. Hello, everyone. This is
Wrong.
And as always, I'm joined by the JB. But my name is JB. I'm literally JB. That's why I did it.
Fine.
Just kidding. You can be whoever you want. You win.
That.
I only aim to please you. The JB to my Jin Young. Tina Zhu.
Hello.
Hello.
How is everyone doing? Welcome to another episode of K-Stop.
Yeah.
Super excited for this week's releases.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of Tina-esque artists this time, so.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
also no
mostly.
disrespect to like Chaeyoung and Chaeyoung fans. I like him too.
Jeez.
But I love JB. He's my boo in GOT7. So
Yes. Well, thank you guys as always for we'll soon be getting into all things GOT7 and J Project soon enough. Spoiler alert. But we just want to get into some quick comments from last week. As we say, you guys are part of this podcast as we are. Actually, quick narcissistic shout out real quick. If you guys like podcasts, which hopefully you do if you're listening to this, I am on they're a new-ish company. You've probably seen like their YouTubers react to BTS or YouTubers react to K-pop, or they do a lot of awesome really content about Asia and K-pop, but the name is FOMO Daily. I appeared on there. It's called Stancast Podcast. I was the guest on there. Their most recent episode came out yesterday. We talk about a lot of fun things, a lot of fun stories. Basically, it's the stuff Tina and I get into every week, but maybe done with just with a different spin. We talked about different things, so check that out if you would.
Check it out.
Yeah,
FOMO Daily.
FOMO Daily is the company, yeah. And then they're on iTunes. They're you can definitely search it. I think the episode is literally called Jeff Benjamin, so I know.
Excuse me. All right. Sounds dope.
Excuse me too. Yes, but check that out. But enough about that.
Extra dose of Jeff.
A little extra dose of Jeff in your week. Why not? Yeah, there were so many like really, really awesome comments this past week. So I just I feel like I need to just I don't know, I'm gonna try my best to get to as many of them as possible. But I want to give a shout out. This came from Andy Vo, who is at Andy Vo. I'm just gonna spell it out. ANDYVOVOKILLS. Andy Vovokills. I think
that's cute.
That is cute. But she hit me up on Twitter and she hit me up. My name is at Jeff__Benjamin. And don't forget Tina's is Hey Tina with 3.
No, it's Hey _ Tina with 3. It's okay. Jeff always forgets my underscore because he already has 2, so he can't like be bothered with other people's underscores.
I only accept 2. It's either 2 or I don't go small, Tina. But she wrote, longtime K-Stop listener, first time commenter. So thank you, Andy, for sending something to us. But and wrote, but Rock Nation put Jay Park in the awesome new Charlie XCX video.
They
and we talked about Jay Park's kind of potential the potential with the signing with Rock Nation and how the different opportunities we kind of saw, what we thought about it, so many different things. And then, literally like a day or two later, he shows up in like this humongous video with all these humongous celebrities.
It's very random, but kind of. I don't
you know what I was the more I watched it, the more I loved it, because it wasn't even like it was like there were models, there were musicians, there were actors, there were gay guys, there were skinny guys, there were large guys.
It was a good mix.
It was such a mix of it, and it's not like anyone had to point out and be like, "There's the Carrie" or "There's the K-pop star." You know, like they were like he was just there.
He was just some, just
another hot guy. Yeah, just another like boy. I was busy thinking about boys. And I loved how she obviously flipped the scene and made it a little more about kind of putting guys in that same position that so many like women are in videos. Men, and I'm like let's objectify Jay Park on this pink flamingo.
I mean, that's nothing new for him, right? He's often objectified.
Happily, exactly.
It has worked out well for his brand.
So Yeah, so it was I thought that was really cool. And then that was so awesome that you noticed that, Andy Bo. So thank you for your first time comment, and thank you for listening. This one was pretty. There are a couple comments about this. I think we got into it a little bit last week about how I just love singing how we both love being like singing, and there are
making our own beats.
Yeah, making our own beats with our mouths, and and there were a couple comments about it. There was Vancity K-pop, who was at Rachel_Gray31, wrote to me, Jeff__Benjamin. Never stop vocally imitating the music. It gives me many giggles. #KStop. And then Forever Young on Twitter, who is at FOREVA for Ava.
Ava, I see what you did there.
Apologies, her name isn't actually Ava. Young99 wrote, "Who needs London?" So this is actually a comment about KCON. She wrote, "Who needs London noise in panels when Jeff Benjamin can break down the production of K-pop songs with his own voice?"
Yeah.
#KStop, crying, laughing emoji, coughing emoji. Aww. I agree.
Never changed.
I know. Apparently, I'm so glad you guys appreciate it. But yes, well, if you didn't know, I'm going to be moderating a panel with London Noise, EXO, Red Velvet, BoA. So many. They've done stuff with Girls' Day and Sistar and other Shinhwa people too. At KCON, we're going to break down one of their songs. So maybe I'll sing half of it.
He's actually performing the entire thing.
I'm just being like
while everyone just sits and watches.
Yeah.
This is a one-man production.
It's going to be really fun. Everyone's going to have a great time. We're going to love it.
Makeshift instruments.
Yes, exactly. And then last but not least, I love it when you guys do this. Call us out whenever you got to, because Alice Jones, who is at ASTRAEA Jones, wrote, "I love the thoughtful discussion of Jeff Benjamin, Hey Tina on #KStop heart, but please, highs is said like English haze," which
I could have sworn it was highs because I thought it was like referencing like the German word highs. That's what I thought that's why I said highs, and I could have sworn I saw that online. So, but I've also never. I don't think I've watched any program where they say her name or
I was just thinking I haven't.
But then I
either.
could have sworn I thought I watched an interview where she said her name, and that's what she said. But I'm obviously gonna defer to someone who took the time to tweet that to us. So I'm sure they wouldn't do that unless they were sure.
Yes. So we appreciate it. I will definitely appreciate that. Wow, I already messed it up. Haze is going to be, maybe it's like maybe we're kind of messing, maybe our Midwestern accent is coming out.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, maybe my Chicago accent is coming. Maybe it's coming out a little more haze than maybe it's like this in between sort of thing.
Hold on, because
look up the Korean.
I was gonna say if I just look up the Korean, we can settle this.
Because I hopefully will be seeing her at KCON Los Angeles. Lots of KCON references this episode. I'll hopefully be seeing her. I am dying to talk to her and meet her in person. So I don't want to kick things off by being like, "Hello, Hayes," and then totally mess up that pronunciation. Tina's on a mission. She is Googling like none other.
Oh, our homegirl is right. It is. It is Hayes.
Hayes. It is.
Hayes. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Hayes, yeah.
Well, Alice Jones, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for that. I stand very much corrected.
We very much do.
Well, that website lied to me about the German thing.
Okay, whatever creepy websites Tina's been going on finding German references to Korean artists. Sure, Tina. Sure, Jan. Right. Anyway.
Now we know.
Yeah, and so thank you guys as always. I mean, seriously, if you guys ever see anything, let us know, because we want to be informed. We want to do things right. Yeah, just please let us know. So that's actually not the only comment we're going to get to today, but that'll come later in the episode. We, of course, as always, ask you guys to vote on your favorite release of the week from last week. Like we said, we talked about. Wait, no, Hayes wasn't even last episode, was she? She was last episode. It was a couple episodes ago. Yeah, it was Card. It was CN Blues Younghwa. And it was Ak Dong Musician. I gave the vote to Dinosaur Do.
That's who I voted to. Yeah, I'm still bumping that hard, like heavy, man.
Yeah, I listened to it this morning. I was also I'm actually listening to all three. I mean, I really like those last three. I've been thinking about like how I'm gonna start showing the unbeknownst card. I'm gonna start. I think it's just so accessible. Ola.
Oh. Yeah.
Those who don't know, I'm just gonna be like, yo, listen to this jam.
Yeah.
And see what they
yeah,
think.
they're definitely a good like gateway artist.
That's kind of how I'm feeling, yeah. But I think Younghwa and Loco, That Girl, which I think is just such a experimental track, got my vote. And you gave it to Actung Musician. And Actung Musician did come in the second runner-up place, so third place.
Okay.
They got 1% of the votes with Dinosaur. I think it was just a big competition. Cards, Ola got 7%, and then Younghwa and Loco just took it with 92% of the votes with That Girl. So I think there was a big the Younghwa fans came out.
I did not see that coming.
I know we thought it was going to be really quite
I thought it was
going to
be closer in favor of Card.
I know, we saw that.
But clearly they are still newcomers, and the Younghwa fangirls wanted to show everybody what was up.
They did. And the fanboys.
Yes. And fanboys, yes.
But let's get right into this week's episode because we have some exciting releases also. Tina, who do we want to kick it off with?
Obviously, JJ Project.
Yeah.
They are back after 5 years since originally putting out Bounce.
Right.
Which was very popular, like virally, right? It was popular when it was released, and it hit like 2 million views very quickly. The song itself was like not that good. I didn't like Bounce.
I can't even. I remember. So JJ Project became, two of the members became GOT7, and I just assumed
2 of the members they were trainees at the time, and this was just a unit group, and then they officially debuted through GOT7.
Because I remember they were on all these artists to watch lists for whatever year. What year was that? 2013, I think. 2012. Wow. Yeah. So I was just kind of I just assumed I'd never hear from it again, I just thought, and I remember I think they changed the Twitter accounts and things like that, but here they are.
I just remember thinking JB's so cute, and he still is. I still think he's cute. I really love his voice, but Bounce just wasn't for me. It's a little too wacky. Wasn't really my, sonically wasn't my thing. But I did not realize. So I think I might have seen I saw a couple teasers, but I didn't have high hopes. But but this was everything that I hoped for. So the mini album is called Verse 2, which makes sense. Second time around.
Kind of.
So I guess we didn't even say. So JB was, for those who are not familiar, JB is one member. And the other member is Jin-young, who originally, I think when they debuted, he went by Junior, right?
Yeah.
And he had changed the spelling a couple times as JR, and then Junior fully spelled out, but now he's going by Jin-young, his birth name, his government name.
JYP. Yeah. Just kidding.
JB and JYP.
Yeah, JB and JYP.
And the single, the comeback single, is called Tomorrow Today. Tomorrow, Today. And it is very soft pop rock, very Day 6.
That's the first thing I thought. Yeah.
So I saw that this is, I think, either the only track or one of 2 tracks or something where JB and Jin-young did not produce or write it.
Oh, interesting.
Of course, I feel like it's always the lead single where the artists themselves did not actually, produce the song or compose it.
Right.
So I think the person who did compose the song did work on Day 6 material, which makes a lot of sense.
Interesting.
So I right off the bat, I got very heavy kind of nostalgia vibes from this.
From the video or from the song?
Both. I think the video definitely helped it because the video, the whole composition of it felt very, very throwback to me.
Grainy, VCR.
Yes. But immediately I got hit with Day 6 vibes, very comforting, very just kind of like soul searching shit.
Yeah.
I put that very eloquently, right?
Soul searching
shit. Needed that in my life, you know, on this, you know, this trying week.
Yeah.
Trying Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Did you like it? What did you think when you first heard it?
Yeah. I really liked it. Yeah. I thought sorry, I just got distracted. No. I right from those like early moments, yeah, I was really into it. There were like I don't know, I think I was expecting like some crazy kind of hip hop track or something poppy or something out there.
I definitely didn't expect them to go that route.
No,
just
all.
because since they are on the same label, you would think that maybe they would try to differentiate their sounds a little bit more, since that seems to be more Day 6's lane at this point. That's their brand.
Well, right. And I thought that was so interesting. But yeah, you know, it did. I was kind of like wondering, I was like, well, I guess Day 6, they do write and compose their own music, right? Mostly. So maybe this song just came about and they're like, hey, like it's perfect for it's not a
reinvention of JJ Project.
It's not a GOT7 song, you know. I think GOT7 is slowly writing more and more, but they, you know, I think it just, maybe they were like, let's try it out with these two.
Right. I mean, GOT7, they have some bangers for sure, and you know, I've always been a fan of GOT7. They definitely don't strike me as an introspective group or anything. This definitely felt like an extension type project, right? Which I guess it is. But they definitely came with like a more mature sound, very introspective, very kind of like moving from youth to more adulthood. I mean, it's been 5 years. Right. When they debuted, it was like 17 and 18 respectively, and they're 22 and 23 respectively now, you know, and like that 5-year gap, I'm sure they have grown a lot, you know, just not only artistically, but just as people. So you can definitely see that change, and even what they gravitate toward now musically.
Right.
So
yeah, and maybe this is a better reflection of their, you know, music taste nowadays, which is kind of interesting to think about. Yeah, I mean, and I thought, you know, the music video definitely paired well with that in the sense that well, actually, I'm just kind of thinking of this now, but like I was wondering why the Catcher in the Rye book was such like a common theme throughout it.
Yeah.
And that book is definitely, now that we're kind of talking it out a bit more, it like makes me think like, okay, you know, Catcher in the Rye, it's a book about coming to adulthood, seeing new things, maturing, accepting different parts of the world.
Youth rebellion, you know, themes.
Right, exactly. Seeing the world as it is as an adult rather than, you know, your childhood perspective. And yeah, maybe that's kind of what it's not only showing musically, but the idea of verse 2. It's you know, the second part of going to something different, something, you know, the second part or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought thematically everything tied together very well, and they had some subtle moments in there. And I feel like the book, they did make at the end after the song, and then they were laying on the couch and reading the books. Like, obviously they wanted you to look at the book, but for anyone who was just kind of casually watching, you may not have noticed it, you know, or taken the time to see exactly what that book title was or cover was. So I thought that was still like well done. And you know, the majority of the video, there wasn't like a whole lot happening. They were, you know, walking around looking a little lost because they were trying to get across that feeling of wandering and seeking, right? And you know, trying to choose the right path. Because the song is about, you know, how do I direct myself in a way that will get me to where I want to be, but at the same time I don't really know where necessarily I want to be. It's like I'm asking myself these questions, hoping for answers, but I don't know those answers. So it's a lot of just kind of confusion and seeking answers.
Which is a big part of Catcher in the Rye. I don't know, like I had to read it in high school. Like, you know, it's like all these, you know, big questions that you know, Holden Caulfield's asking, all these things. And yeah, totally. Like, I think, I didn't understand at first why it was there. I kept trying to figure it out because I always like figuring out those notes, but now it makes sense,
right? Yeah. And I like how they use more literal symbols of of seeking a path, like the split crossroads, and which like each one went in a different direction, and they were in a car driving down a winding path. You know, it's like it could have been cliche, but I think they did it in a way that wasn't too corny.
Right.
I didn't think it was corny at all.
They could have been like, like looking back at each other and like holding hands or something.
Yeah, I think everything was you know, certain things that needed to be more subtle were subtle, and things that were, you know, more obvious were picked up upon. So did you get a chance to listen to the rest of the EP?
No, I haven't had a chance to like
do
anything with my life.
It's so good. Shout out to this track Icarus.
I saw that one trending. Yes, some people seem to like it.
So good.
Yeah. What's it sound like?
I think that's track number 4. The one before it called, was it Oh No No or something? Whatever. The track right before it had a bit of an kind of EDM flair to it. On and on. Oh No No.
I got it right here, Tina.
You see how I like peripherally look at titles, but I don't really look at titles. It kind of just like whatever the letters seem like to me.
You're just so
I just make shit up. Yeah. That track I think had a little bit of EDM, you know, tinge to it, not a whole lot. So that was a little different. Icarus, and also the final track, was it Find You or Find My Way? Find Something. Those two tracks are more similar. Yeah, those two songs are more similar.
Okay. So it sounds kind of varied, which I'm into.
But I will say the whole thing ties together well.
Yeah.
The only song that I felt like didn't really fit the album was the more R&B track, but it wasn't like really smooth R&B. I felt like it was kind of messy. It was the second to last track.
Yeah.
Which clearly I forget.
Don't want to know.
Yeah, don't want to know. That it's like fine. I just probably wouldn't. I feel like there's so many songs that sound like that. So
yeah.
But the opening track, Coming Home, is really dope.
All right, I'm excited. I mean, I'm going. Yeah, I need to listen. You know, it's just a matter of
good.
Just a matter of when. I promise I will. But yeah, no, I'm glad for this glowing review. And yeah, I think it's, you know, I really like that we talked out all the thematic points, because now I'm like even a bigger fan of it. I'm like, okay, I get it. Now I really get it.
Yeah.
So good job, JJ Project. I'm glad to see you back. I'm glad to see you.
I know.
See you return.
Although I don't like their hair in the video. JB's hair is not good.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't like the whole like mushroom kind of center part look.
It's never
so
gonna
tragic.
Go away, believe me.
Why?
Because I said so. Just kidding.
I liked his hair in was it the Never Ever video?
Never
was
gonna
it that
see
one?
you cry. I think
where there were like those weird Christmas trees and JB comes out of nowhere. We talked about
I think so, yeah. We talked about a lot of good.
I think his hair looked better in there, but whatever.
I love it. I still love that album. Still do, baby. Moving right along. Shall we switch it up?
Switch it up to some females?
To some females?
Females. We talked about them before, and I didn't really have a, positive reaction. But GFriend is back with
the almighty GFriend.
Love Whisper.
Yes.
So this dropped, right before we taped this.
Yeah.
And
Fresh.
I think it's off an EP, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to their EPs, so I don't know what the EP
that's
is called.
Unfortunate. There's some good album tracks on there.
I will take your word for it.
Jeez. Well, anyway. Yeah, GFriend, the 5th mini album, Parallel is what it's called.
They got 5 mini albums?
And a full-length album.
Oh, God.
But GFriend is not ending anytime soon, girl.
I know they're very popular in Korea.
They've had some good. I remember when I met them at KCON, I told them about this like random album track I really liked, and they were like, "Oh, like you know it."
Oh, you told me this. Yeah, that was cute.
They were really nice. But they're back with this new single. It's very summery. It's called Love Whisper. They are, I've been, everything is so out of context. It's a very throwbacky, fresh, nostalgic pop song. Has a lot of those 80s elements to it. A lot of, fun beats to it. A lot of light melodies. But in context, it's quite different than their last album, that last comeback, which was the Fingertip song, if you remember. That one was, I thought, a little more aggressive, a little sexier, if you will, a little more felt a little more pushing the boundaries.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
Fingertips. And I'm just kind of curious, kind of how this fits into the overall GFriend story, because I thought about it a lot, and I wrote an article about it, but, just talking about how, like, it seemed like with every comeback, they were kind of getting a little more mature, showing themselves more as women, showing themselves more individual styles. Before they debuted with, like, gym uniforms, it was a very uniform look. Right. Then they started varying up their hair colors, varying up their style and whatnot. And then this one, and then they material got a little more matured and whatnot, but this one almost felt like a bit of a I don't want to call it a step back, but like a return to that original form.
Reverted a little bit.
I don't even know if it's reverted, because I still get it, but I don't get it, I guess. I should say, like, they went like very uniform with the looks. Right. It's very innocent looking.
It felt like their comfort zone.
It very much felt like their comfort zone.
But I will say, I think I actually like the song.
Ooh. Wow.
But because I do like that kind of throwback 80s sound, 80s pop sound. And yeah, it was catchy enough. It was very, summery and bubbly sounding, but a little edgier than their earlier. The earlier stuff was just straight up like, I can't even listen to this. It was just like, I felt like it went nowhere. It was just so bubbly and bubblegummy. It just went nowhere.
Really?
It just wasn't like edgy pop to me. It was just I don't know. So it just fell flat before. But this one, the song I actually really like. I can see myself bumping this.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it doesn't hit. There were always in past GFriend songs, there were like a lot of like just like big vocal moments or big catchy moments or things like that. And with this one, I thought there were some tiny moments.
Oh yeah, there was definitely nothing that stood out, like a major moment. Like the bridge was like, okay.
Yeah.
There wasn't, a standout moment for anyone.
Right.
I don't know.
So then why do you like it? I'm just curious. The overall
production of
I'm not like yelling at you.
I thought it was catchy.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, okay. I totally see what I mean, and maybe this is a grower. Maybe it's like first, these are just like my initial impressions. Maybe it'll really grow on me. I don't know. But yeah, I was waiting for, I did not like, Navilera, if you remember that song.
Oh yeah.
I did not like that at first, but for some reason that song really grew on me, and it has this like one moment on the pre-chorus that I'm just obsessed with, and like that song ultimately like really grew on me.
You know what? Maybe it just reminds me of like really old school K-pop.
Old school. Oh, that's one kind of their thing. Yeah, is like kind of, and maybe Girls' Generation, that comeback is right around the corner. Maybe they're just trying to take it back to that time,
maybe.
That world.
I will say I could do without the video entirely.
Really?
I thought it was so damn corny. I was like, what are you, like when they were aggressively spinning in the pond, I was like, what are you doing?
I see. I like
what is this aquatic shit y'all are doing? Like it just looks stupid. I was sitting there like, are they serious right now? It's like, it's one thing if they were trying to be funny, but they're like dead ass. Like they are like, we are doing these moves.
Well, I liked the
and like they just look like they're trying so hard.
Yeah, no, there was definitely a lot of interesting moment. Or I mean, I liked the water scenes. I'm always like, I just thought it was a little different.
No, you didn't, Jeff.
Tina.
No one likes.
Why?
She spun on one leg and was like,
that was so cool.
And I'm like, what is this? You're in a freaking pond in like the middle of the forest.
We're fighting. Like, you like the song. I don't get why you like the song.
Nothing made sense.
It was just I remember. Well, remember Vix also danced in the water too in their most recent comeback, and we loved that.
But that was like. Artsy.
This is art.
That is not art.
GFriend is bringing the art.
No, that is not art.
I liked it. It was very summery and springy. I thought
they made it so literal.
I know.
They're like, we're going to frolic in this pond.
Yeah, it was a little.
I mean, Subway was cool, I guess. I don't know.
You know what my favorite move was? The weird kind of leg dances that they did in the.
See, that made me a little uncomfortable. Like they were like twitching.
Yeah, but I loved it.
It was weird. I think I was just really uncomfortable.
I think we were like quite literally 180s on this entire release.
I was just like, I don't know what's happening.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, basically. I mean, yeah, I just really am kind of curious where this is going to fit in the overall story of GFriend. You know, like I wonder if maybe they didn't feel like they got as good of reaction at the last, comeback as they did. So they kind of took, reverted a tiny bit to like what they, the comfort zone or whatever. And maybe it just led to middling, awkward results. I don't know. I
always felt like GFriend was just a very awkward group to watch.
Well, I think they're totally underdogs, which I really appreciate. They do not come from a big company. They, really came out of nowhere, unexpectedly kind of blew up. And I always root for them in that way, but I always think, I don't root against them. They seem very harmless, right? But I think I was just very confusing. Really mean. They get really mad when you take their photo. Just kidding.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm really curious to kind of see what the reaction will be. It literally just came out, so we'll have to see kind of what happens with it all. But
But I don't hate the song.
No.
Do you see this trend? Do you see this trend of artists that normally don't give any positive glowing reviews to, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm a back dog musician.
All it takes is just one song, right?
It's true. All it does take is one song just to get on Team Tina. And then last but not least, we have our boys Monsta X who released a new special. I think it's just like a special summer single, Newton. Not to be confused with Fig Newton.
Those are good. I could eat one right now.
Never been a fan. They were always
Fig Newtons are dope. You don't even like the don't they have like strawberry ones?
Do they? I don't know. I just always ate them. They're
like, people say they're like old people like cookies, but then they're also deceivingly like sugary. People are like, oh, Fig Newtons, they must be healthy. Like, no, like read the nutrition label. You might as well just eat a cookie, right?
Might as well just eat.
It's about the texture. It's chewy.
Might just eat young people cookies.
Young people cookies.
But here we are.
Anyway, shout out to Fig Newtons.
Shout out to Fig Newtons, sponsored by Fig Newtons. Just kidding. I wish. But no, they are here. The boys are back with Newton. This song I just strictly sonically, it's definitely a more subtle feel for them, a more toned down song from what we usually would expect from Monsta X, who go really kind of blaring and all over the place.
Because not too long ago we reviewed Shine Forever, and then before that, this was way back, All In, which I like. I like that song, but like
they had Beautiful.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
But everything's very, very hard hitting and in your face, aggressive. This was definitely a more laid back, mellow feel. Did you like it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I thought it was softer for them, but also I got the EDM elements in it. It's like it was still there. It's not like it was completely devoid of anything that was too much of a stray. So it was experimental and different, but also ultimately
it was like synthy.
Yeah, ultimately like a bit more refreshing, if anything.
Yeah, I really like this.
Yeah,
it did feel very summery, and I can see myself I know you sometimes talk about this too. It feels like a travel on the go song. Like I can see myself frolicking in some like new city listening to this, or I guess like Seoul in particular, but it gave me that summer soul vibe.
I could see that. And I mean, the video pairs really nicely with that too.
Great,
the guys are on a road trip. I really like that we got kind of like a more like human-y side of them. It's like we got to see them broing out a bit, doing playing like life-size Jenga and going on a road trip, and they were like doing like water.
And for once, I didn't have to think too hard about their music video.
Yeah, right.
Because there's always some underlying
The clan.
You have to like decipher something with the clan. I'm like, I'm too tired. I can't do this right now.
We could
I'm
never.
so over this.
We could never decipher the clan. It was so sad.
Although I will say with the Newton concept, I did have to think about it.
Oh.
Because you know how Isaac Newton has 3 laws, right?
So I know where this is going.
The first 2 I don't think apply. The third one is something about like how if one body exerts a force on another body, then that other body has to push back. And it has to be like exerting equal forces against each other.
Right.
I think that applies more to this song because it's about like some girl capturing you or something and you're pulled by her and shit. So I was like, okay, there's no way it's like Newton and then there's no some sort of tie into that, right?
Yeah, cute.
So I think that's the deepest they can get on this.
No, I like that. I mean, I
As
think
you
it's
can tell,
spot on.
I don't know my physics at all. That's the most I'm gonna give you. Don't ask me any more questions.
Or a body in motion stays in motion, or an object in motion stays in motion. If we're in the swing of love, if we're doing, if we're in this mood, we're gonna stay in this mood together. Let's keep it up. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Look at us getting our physics majors on.
Oh, that was not an easy class. Physics was not fun.
I didn't even take it. Gosh,
Terrible.
I could barely get through my real classes. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like, I don't know. I always say I love like when a group does something new or unexpected. And in Monsta X, if you listen to their I was listening to their albums a lot when they were in New York. What was that? A week ago, 2 weeks ago. They definitely have those more tender R&B moments and things like that. One of my favorite songs. Yeah, one of my favorite songs with them is called I think it's called Need You or Miss You. Need You, I think. It's like probably one of my favorite Monsta X songs, period. And it's very unlike them in terms of what people might know from their singles and stuff like that. So I just think they're still an underrated group, and I think there's still time for them to shine, it's time for them to blow up. I don't know, there's like lots to be seen, and I think this single is very much an indication of what is to be seen.
Yeah. The video, did you notice that when they were doing that kind of campfire thing toward the end, and there was a DJ booth, and that was their little chilling moment.
Right.
There's a neon
sign
that
that
says fuck.
Okay.
And then there was like a little heart balloon. And I'm like, that is I was like, I need that in my life. it's like classy but ratchet at the same time. I was like, I like that.
I tweeted about that and I was like, did anyone else notice this?
And I'm like, I was like, we need to talk about that.
I almost completely forgot. Yeah, I literally wrote in my notes, fuck, luck. Right. Because some people were saying it was maybe supposed to say luck.
Oh.
And the L is kind of got a little screwed up, with like the kind of where the thing would cross and what. But it says the
I
F
guess
word.
in cursive, right? The lowercase L and lowercase F.
Yeah. But like there's no
But there's like definitely an extra loop at the bottom. That's an F.
Right. I just don't know how it got past anyone.
Right.
Who was like giving approvals and whatnot. I mean, because it shows up multiple times. Right. It's not like it was just there once.
Right.
It's like in the background of a member. There's like two of them. Like I was kind of like.
But I like that it was like pink and neon. I'm like,
that's the thing.
I'm like, I love it.
That's why there's no possible way it could have actually.
That's something Rihanna would have, or Nicki Minaj. They would just have that like. Somewhere.
But wouldn't it, and that's why I still think it's a mistake, because wouldn't it need to be blurred out if it was like actually there, because it's expletive?
But that's English, and it's not by Korea's like standards, right? I mean, you get your video banned for traffic violations in the video, right? Like
for like crossing the street too early,
crazy shit like that. But and then they had like a bunch of Lipton tea placements.
Yeah, I saw that. I was
like, okay.
I wonder if it was sponsored or just.
Oh, you know what? I think it is a CF. Isn't it tied to like I thought it was tied to a CF.
Lipton tea, dirtier than we realized.
Though?
It is.
It would have to be. I thought I saw that somewhere. Okay,
but it was quite subtle, because now that you bring it up, I'm like, oh yeah, Lipton was in the Jenga stuff. It was in.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way.
Oh my gosh.
What an interesting video.
A very interesting video.
I need to find that neon sign though. I need that in my life.
I know. Freaking amazing. I mean, it like literally is perfect. I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
So then what ends up being your favorite of this week though?
So
and keep it PG, okay, Tina? No more F-bombs, okay?
No more F-bombs, sorry. As much as I loved the Monsta X song, and GFriend was, they did pretty well this time around. JJ Project. Gotta give it to them, hands down.
Yeah, I was just about to choose JJ Project, but I think after talking it out a little more, especially with the Newton concept now that's in my head, although I really like the Catcher in the Rye concept with JJ Project and GFriend's leg dances. I think I'm going to give it to Monsta X though.
Okay, I respect that.
So be sure to vote on our poll on Views.tv. Where you can listen to all the episodes of K-Stop because you love them all. They're also on iTunes. We're also on Stitcher. Basically anywhere you get your audio. On YouTube. Anywhere you get audio, you'll find us.
Indeed.
So let's get into our top 5 K-pop songs. The top 5 K-pop songs on US iTunes right now, where we get into our charts section. And let's take a look right now. Coming in at number 5 this week, it is Hola Hola. Card.
Woo!
Still
Yay,
up
Card.
there. Good for them. Yeah, I'm still bumping it. Number 4, The Eve by EXO, which I'm surprised about. I'm happy to see it. That's one of the best songs in the album, and I'm glad to see
I still
the
haven't
song.
listened to The War.
Take a listen, Tina.
I don't know.
Do you want my suggestions? What you do, touch it, and going crazy.
Touch it?
Yeah, touch it, Tina.
Okay.
It's like kind of soulful. Sexy.
Sounds sultry.
It is sultry. And then number 3, Blackpink, As If It's Your Last.
Wow, that's making a good run.
Yeah, that one is. People are not giving up on that one. I love it. Absolutely. I like Strange that song continues to grow on me, which is even.
Yeah,
more
I was actually
surprising.
listening to that on my way to work. So
Number 2 this week is EXO. Coco Bop. I was about to say Coco Bop by EXO. Wait, that is what I was trying to say. I'm getting really tongue-tied. There's so many letters.
It's a tough title to say.
Coco Bop?
I feel like it doesn't roll off the tongue.
It always throws me for a loop when I see it.
Right.
You know? Like maybe
yeah,
I
it also just looks
to
a
say
little
like
strange too. Yeah.
Cocoa. Like I want to say the word cocoa. Like
right.
Cocoa Krispies. Something like that. And then last but not least, number 1. Tina's gonna be happy. It's Tomorrow Today by JJ Project, which is the number 12 song on albums overall on K-pop or on iTunes. So that's really awesome that they're getting like a great response.
I mean, GOT7 does well in general, right? So the fans are like, this works for us too.
They're like, we'll take it.
I know.
And then so let us know what's on your guys' playlist this week as well. And last but not least, as we move into our deep cut of the week, this one is actually a listener suggested deep cut, and we loved the topic when we saw it, and we thought, hey, let's get into it. I already shared some ideas actually on Twitter already, but this came from What Will Said, longtime listener, longtime commenter. What Will Said, we love you at WELILE_21. And here at Hey Jeff Benjamin, Hey Tina, with MTV bringing back TRL, could that bridge K-pop closer to U.S. audiences? #KStop. And I thought this was a really interesting topic.
I didn't even consider this possibility, so I was like, huh.
See, I did, but I have a lot of conflicting thoughts, or I have a lot of thoughts. And Will also said, although MTV isn't as prolific as YouTube, K-pop was designed for a show like TRL. And to be honest, with the state of pop right now, a TRL revival could use it to its advantage.
Right.
And so, I thought this was a really cool idea, just in the sense that, okay, so if TRL's coming back, it's not going to be what it used to. I can't imagine it's just going to be this sort of small group of hand-picked videos from some people at MTV, and then, fans online can vote once, or they call in to vote, and that's
way too convoluted. You can't do that.
It's and I remember back in the day you could write in a vote, but that didn't actually matter. No
one calls anyone anymore.
Right. Like there's got to be there's got to be
no one watches linear TV either.
Well, right. So there needs to be they need to have a new approach to this, obviously. And even though they did talk about their rebuilding the iconic Times Square studios, Tina spent lots of time there.
I spent a
or some
little
time there. You've been there. I've never been
in there.
I'm dying to go there. I would love to go there. But I have to imagine, at least, in my head, there's got to be a really heavy emphasis on digital and social media. And when you do that, to kind of, if they are just making it about, because TRL wasn't ever about just pop music. I remember the punk bands did really well. Marilyn Manson did like I don't know if you ever watched TRL, but like all those metal, like Korn, POD.
Oh yeah,
Marilyn
TRL
Manson.
was a staple. TRL was, as soon as I got home, that shit was on.
Same. That's how I learned, so much awesome stuff, and it was just such a big deal to see.
It's like if you were anybody, you had to have been on TRL. It's just like
it's
a rite of passage, essentially.
100%. And so it was like it had grunge music, it had hip hop, it had R&B, it had pop music, and I will say I think what Will said is getting at too is that the artists with those really big fandoms like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, the girl groups, the boy bands, those groups did better on TRL because they kind of encourage those kind of, sentiments and that excitement to be on the top 10. And I think that pop is in a very similar place right now. You see Fifth Harmony. It's all started with kind of, again, with One Direction, Lady Gaga, the Little Monsters, all the fan bases, all the things like that. People are really proud of their artists. People are proud to be stans. People are proud to be pop stans these days, It's not like a thing you like kind of cower, you hide, from your friends.
Not at all. I definitely remember though, back in the day, I felt like I was almost defensive with some friends when they're like, "Oh, you like NSYNC, you like 90 Degrees, you're so lame," because pop wasn't cool to like, right? Exactly. It was like it was associated with like just being a fangirl and
100%
very shallow. And
no, I agree.
Now it's pop
cool.
in the it's not really pop in that 90 sense anymore though, right? Like everything is more or less pop these days, just crossing into other genres. It's all very genre fluid now,
right? Which is exactly kind of how I also see K-pop operating too, is that K-pop does try to be as multidimensional and entertainment wise as well, and that is also like my sort of thing too, is that people are proud fans nowadays because everything's a lot more integrated. It's a lot more seamless. It's easier to say, kids these days say that, and I consider myself a kid, that they love electronic music, but they also love rock music, but they also love hip hop, but they also love whoever. It's like it's very much like you're not defined by your music taste anymore. Right. And I love that. And I think it's amazing. And I think too, to deny, and I mean, it's not even just that I'm talking about K-pop. I'm actually kind of, thinking about this in sort of global music in general, because Latin music is so big too.
I was thinking about that too when I was thinking about this question. Like, well, if they open this up to K-pop contenders and artists, there's no reason for them not to consider, Latin music as well. That is just as respectable and big of a market with a huge backing.
Bigger, yeah. I mean, it totally is. I mean, it's it's the thing. I mean, obviously right now it's once again reggaeton and Latin music having a moment in America and basically the world with Despacito, whatnot. But there are so many artists that also kind of dig into that very similar sentiments and obsession and that excitement that I see in K-pop fans too, with artists like Maluma and CMCO and these artists that are people just get so excited about, and they're doing so much, they're putting out so much content and so much awesome stuff that it would be undeniable to like say like we're barring this to be only America or whatever. And that's the thing too, is that back in the day there were many gatekeepers when it came to music. TRL I think stopped working because people could get music anywhere. Why did they need to go to this top 10 countdown when in 2005 I could just put it all on my iPod and listen to it there.
Right.
So I think they really are going to need to take this to this sort of new level of or another level I should say of prestige, and like you're the biggest song or biggest video in the world right now. And that's the only way I could see it even working. Like this idea that like, oh, look, it's a battle between Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, BTS, EXO, and Prince Royce. You know, like it's going to.
I feel like almost it would be like a linear version of what happened with the social artist voting.
Yes, with the vote.
You're pitting against these artists, and
Twitter will never be the same.
And like they would. I mean, I can totally see them using social media as you know the platform through which you can vote, because that's the quickest, most efficient way for kids to vote these days.
Totally.
Would have to be on through their phone, just a quick click. Quick
and
tweet.
Then how else are they going to get the word out if it's not on social media? You know, it's not going to be on by calling in. You know, like I see so much potential in how this could go. You know, but at the same time too, you know, and actually I brought this up on Twitter too, because I just saw that idea and I was like, oh my God, he's totally on my same wavelength, because it would not only kind of up the global appeal if they really do open it up and make it worldwide, and who knows, maybe there's some huge Chinese artists, some huge Bollywood artists, some huge Arab artists, some huge Swedish artists. You know, like there's so much potential for how this could go, and how you could really make music on this sort of big platform. But you know, just kind of from what we've seen, typically it does seem to be Western artists, Latin artists, and Korean artists who do quite well on these things. But at the same time, I just also think it'd be such a cool, if MTV does this, and you know, it would just be such a big moment in like really putting their foot behind inclusivity and diversity and visibility, like just saying like this music is valid, it's worth it, you know, it has the chance just like all these other artists have the chance. We're doing something that it's never been done like this, you know.
For sure. I think that also it like so many years have gone by since the original TRL aired, right? So
ended almost a decade ago.
So I would assume that they would want this revival to reflect the times. It would not make any sense for them to kind of revert back to like the old format, or kind of just you know, limiting it to a certain group of artists, because they realize that the market is different now, right? And they can see that they can see that K-pop is not only a force within overseas like the industry, like both overseas and domestically, but that pulls in viewers. So they need to leverage that somehow. It would just be a loss on their part if they didn't.
Or definitely pulls in the social stats for sure. And it would be, because you know, it's and on one hand it seems like, yes, it's obvious it would have to do this, but MTV has done is certainly trying to be more reflective of times, you know, changing the moon man to moon person, making, you know, getting rid of gender categories on the VMAs and the what was it, the MTV Movie and TV Awards. But I don't, you know, at the same time, you know, Viacom, it's a very old, big, humongous media conglomerate, and there's a lot of players in there. There's a lot of people giving opinions. I see so much potential in it that I really hope it doesn't. It isn't disappointing that way. You know, we didn't really see any VMA nominations for like a lot of international artists this year, which was international in the sense of like Latin music, K-pop, whatever it might be, J-pop, things like that. That was a little discouraging. But
I will say, like, I know that they are definitely open to having artists appear on the show, because I would definitely remember when Rain and Omarion linked up back in the day. Omarion and Rain were in that studio. I remember watching an episode. Rain was I'm like 90% sure it was TRL.
That's amazing.
That he was there, and like he was like it was also like it makes sense to me, right? But like I'm sure some of the audience was like, I have no idea what's happening right now. But like,
that's
Omarion was like, yo, this is my dude Rain, you know, we're on a track together. The song was called Man Up. It wasn't on I think it's on the extended version of the album.
Oh, interesting.
It's not like a regular track. It's like a bonus track, right? But yeah, I definitely remember that happened. When Boa did her shit, that was in that same studio. Granted, it was like not TRL, but you know, like
that studio is just, and that's how I also like, I just feel like they have so much potential to make so many moments. Like, could you imagine EXO or BTS or Blackpink like being on TRL that day, and like you know the fans would swarm Times Square. Someone brought that up on Twitter. I thought it was a great point.
Yeah, like that would be amazing. My other concern, I guess, or a concern that the Viacom folks would have is, do they feel like that would essentially be catering to a K-pop audience and then therefore alienating the other audience, right?
Well, right. But I think just like what you said, like when it was Omarion and Rain, you know, that was like, okay, here is someone everyone's very comfortable with, a big star, Omarion at the time, and here he is with Rain, and they're like, we're on a track together. This is why we're here together. I think if they really do try hard and they think about this, you know, the right way, getting BTS and whoever, someone who makes sense with BTS that would, you know, they play off well together or something like that. I think those kind of moments could actually be really, really priceless in the sense.
It would have to be thought out and like integrated well,
or like, you
into
know,
the show.
We know Wale loves BTS, or the Chainsmokers of BTS, something like that. Or maybe, you know, and that's the thing too, where I thought you were going with this is that what if they don't speak English, you know? So like if EXO, who doesn't have any English speakers,
logistically that would be an issue.
so what do? You know, do they just perform on the show? Do they have an interview?
Or you just prep the shit out of them and have them phonetically like
respond? There's that too,
because they know very, very, very basic, but
right, of course, yeah, and they can understand, you know, everyone. I always say this: everyone understands a smile, everyone understands, you know, a thank you, hello, you know, things like that. So, or maybe, you know, it's about the artist they pair them with. I don't know. I think I see so much potential. It's just like, oh my gosh, it could be great. I definitely
feel like
don't mess it up.
Including those video options. In terms of, you know, which video should be allowed to be on the countdown and voted for, it makes sense to include a K-pop artist just because they can technically chart on Billboard, right?
Yes.
So if you're technically charting, you should be eligible for
at the very least
for your music video to be on
if
TRL.
Your YouTube, if you're, you know, videos basically live on YouTube, right? If these are the trending videos on YouTube,
if these are relevant, right?
It's relevant, yes, and that includes so many artists from Brazil, for so many artists from, you know, the UK, Sweden. There's so much to be done here, and I think, I don't know, it's very potentially exciting. I'm like worried to get my hopes up because I love the TRL, like it's so nostalgic for us.
It's tough to gauge just because we have no details for the new formatting.
All we kind of know is that their hosts, the new hosts, I think some of the new hosts have been revealed. It's very
they have revealed,
hip hop leaning, which
that does not surprise me at all. It really doesn't.
I'm still keeping an open mind.
Yeah.
Because we even like we've kind of seen, you know, that there is still definitely a market for people discovering hip hop music on television. So there is that. So I don't know. It could go a lot of different ways. So I'm strangely hopeful, but I'm really personally happy that we got a K-Stop listener to create our deep cut this week.
Absolutely.
We wanted you guys to do this as much as possible. Send us ideas. Send us your thoughts. Or send us your thoughts on a, you know, trendy topic or whatever it could be, and we'll do our best to include it, but I don't know, it's been
maybe we'll like revisit this issue come October when it actually premieres.
It's coming in October.
I think the premiere date's October, so maybe they'll release more details, and
that's coming soon.
Something.
Well, in the meantime, see us on Times Square. Just kidding. Come to Fuse's new office in Penn Square. Wait, no. Herald Square.
Herald Square. Penn Station, Herald Square vicinity.
Come find us at Fuse. But yes, as always, thank you guys for the comments. Listen to our playlist on Fuse.tv. Listen to this. Vote on the poll. Check it all out. Hit us up on Twitter. #KStop. We're all over the place. So I guess we'll wrap this up. As always, this has been Jeff.
And this is Tina.
And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening. Bye, y'all.